Did you know that when you say, "I love you" to your dog, they don't really hear it the way we do? But don't worry, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through 9 powerful ways to show your dog how much you love them, in a language they truly understand. And here's the thing, it's not just about handing them treats or offering a cozy bed. It's about knowing what really makes them feel safe, happy, and deeply bonded with you. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to show your love in a way your dog can feel, not just hear. Now let's begin with the very first one. It's simple, it's natural, and it speaks straight to their heart. Number 1. Sit close. Even if you don't say a word. There's a moment every dog remembers. It's not the game of fetch, not the treat after dinner. It's that evening, quiet, ordinary, where you just sat beside him. No words, no distractions, just being near. You didn't think much of it. Maybe you were watching TV. Maybe you were lost in thought, remembering someone who isn't here anymore. But he was there, lying against your leg, breathing slow, warm. To him, that wasn't just rest. That was connection. That was family. That was love. You see, when a dog chooses to lie next to you, he's saying something without saying a word. You are my safe place. And when you let him stay, when you don't move him off the couch, or tell him to go to his bed, you're saying it back. There's science behind this too. Researchers found that when a dog lies close to someone he trusts, both their bodies release oxytocin, the same hormone a mother feels holding her baby. That's how deep it goes. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything special. Just let him be there. Let him lean against your leg while you drink your coffee. Let him rest his head on your lap when the evening turns quiet. Because in that silence, he hears you the loudest. And if that surprised you, how a moment that small could mean so much, wait until you see what happens when you touch him. The way he needs to be touched. Shall we? Let's move on to something even more powerful. Number 2. Pet him where it matters. Not just anywhere. There's a kind of touch that says, "I'm here with you." And then, there's the kind that feels like brushing crumbs off a table. Your dog knows the difference. Most men think a quick pat on the head or a rough rub down the back is enough. But to your dog, that's just background noise. It's like someone tapping your shoulder and walking away. But when you really pet him slowly, gently, with full attention, it lands differently. Behind the ears, where the nerves are soft and rich like river moss. At the chest, where his heart thumps close to your palm. At the base of his tail, where instinct says you're safe now. In those places, touch becomes language. It says, "You matter. I see you. You belong here." And your dog? He listens. Not with his ears, but with his skin. With every hair that lifts under your hand, with every breath that slows when you get it just right. You might have noticed how he leans into it. That little shift, like gravity pulling him closer. That's not just pleasure. That's trust folding itself into your hand. That's him saying, "Please, don't stop." And if you've ever wondered why he flinches when strangers touch him, but melts when it's you, it's not the hand. It's the intention behind it. Your dog reads you clearer through your fingers than through your words. So the next time you reach down, don't make it automatic. Make it count. Because when your hand becomes his anchor, your silence becomes his safety. And speaking of safety, what if I told you there's a way to make him feel even more seen, not just through touch, but through joy? Let's talk about play, but not the kind you think. Number 3, play the game. He loves, not the one you prefer. You ever watch him drop a toy at your feet, tail wagging, eyes locked, like he's just handed you the keys to his joy. That's not just a game. That's an invitation. And most of us, we miss it. We throw the ball because we think fetch is fun. We teach him tricks because we love the praise. But have you ever asked what he wants to play? See, for your dog, play isn't just exercise. It's how he connects. It's his way of saying, "Come into my world for a moment." And when you choose his favorite game, tug-of-war hide, and seek rolling in the grass like a fool, you're telling him, "I see who you are. I like being in your joy." Even older dogs, the ones with stiff joints and sleepy afternoons, still have a spark. Maybe it's slower now. Maybe he tires in 5 minutes. But when you tug that rope and let him win, his chest swells. Not with ego, but with love. It's not about who wins. It never was. It's about sharing the moment where you are fully his and he is fully yours. There's something almost holy about it. Two beings, no words, just movement and breath and laughter. Like a dance where nobody's watching. Like two old friends who know each other's rhythm by heart. And here's the secret. When play ends too soon, he notices. But when it lingers, when you stay just a little longer than expected, he remembers. Because in that moment, you stopped being the man who feeds him and became the one who understands him. And if he could speak, he'd ask for just one more thing. Talk to me. Not with orders, but with love. Ready to find out how? Let's move to the one voice he never tunes out. Number 4. Speak. Soft baby talk is fine. You might feel silly at first. That high, gentle tone you never let anyone else hear, the one you reserve for him when no one's around. Turns out that's the one he understands best. It's not the words. It never was. You could recite the phone book, and if your voice carries warmth, his ears perk up like you just offered steak. Dogs have learned something most humans forget. Tone matters more than language. MRI scans have shown that their brains light up not from what you say, but how you say it. That soft, lilting sound. To them, it's a lullaby, a hymn, a door swinging open. So when you kneel beside him and say, "Good boy, you're my best friend," in that gentle drawl that's all heart and no armor, he knows. He doesn't need the dictionary. He's reading your soul through the sound. And the strange part, the quieter you speak, the closer he leans in. It's almost as if the softness pulls him in like gravity, like he senses this moment is meant just for him. Because it is. And the more you do it, the more he listens. Not like a soldier waiting for command, but like a child hearing his father hum a melody he's known since birth. You might think he already knows I love him. But here's the twist, he still needs to hear it. In the tone that only you have. In the melody only you sing. Not loud, not proud, just real. Because your dog doesn't need big declarations, he just needs your voice, softened by truth. And while your voice carries warmth, your silence must carry respect. Let's talk about the kind of love that gives space, the kind that says, "I see you, just as you are." Ready? Let's step into the wild side of love. Number 5. Let him smell. Let him be a dog. There's a world beneath your feet that you'll never see, but he does. Every morning walk, every fire hydrant, every blade of grass carries a story to him. A novel written in scent. You might think he's just wasting time, nose buried in the dirt, stuck sniffing the same tree he sniffed yesterday. But to him, that tree isn't the same. It's updated. It's alive. It's the town square, the morning paper, the message board where his world leaves notes. Letting your dog sniff isn't spoiling him. It's respecting who he is. It's saying, "I trust you to be you." And when you rush him, pulling on the leash, urging him along, you're not just breaking routine. You're interrupting his language. To love a dog is to let him be a dog, to let him bury his face in the wind and close his eyes when the scent is just right, to let him circle that tree twice, maybe 3 times, until he's ready to move on. Because, here's the truth, sniffing is how he connects with the world. It's how he grounds himself when the world gets loud or unfamiliar. It's how he makes sense of your neighborhood, your yard, even your footsteps. When you give him that space, you're telling him, you don't need to change. I love you exactly as you are. That's not indulgence. That's freedom. And he feels it in his bones. And as he follows his nose chasing invisible stories only he can read, there's one more message he hopes for, the kind that comes from your kitchen, not the treat jar. Shall we open that door together? Let's talk about a way to love him that most men never even consider. Number 6. Make him a meal, not just a treat. He watches you cook every night, from his spot near the fridge or just behind your heel. Quiet, patient, eyes full of a hope he never puts into words. And maybe you toss him a scrap sometimes, a little piece of chicken, a crust of bread. But what if just once you cooked for him, not a fancy dish, not something out of a dog blog, just a simple meal, boiled egg, some warm rice, a piece of beef maybe, something with your hands in it, your time, your care, because for him, food isn't just food, it's connection. It's the way wolves in a pack share their hunt, the way mothers feed their young. It's primal and tender all at once. When you make him a meal, you're telling him, you are not an afterthought. You are part of my table. And don't be surprised if he eats slowly that night, looks up at you longer, licks the bowl, then your fingers, because he knows. He always knows. And here's the thing, most men never do this. They buy the kibble, they give the biscuit, but they miss the ritual. The quiet kind of love that says, I thought of you today. I made something with you in mind. It doesn't have to be often. It doesn't even have to be perfect. But that moment, when he smells your food and realizes it's for him, you'll see something in his eyes you haven't seen in years. Gratitude. Not for the taste, but for the gesture. And just like that, you're no longer the man who feeds him. You're the man who provides for him. But food alone isn't enough, because while his body is fed, his spirit speaks in silence. Let's talk about a different kind of understanding now, one that needs no words, no hands, no sound at all, only eyes and attention, and knowing when to step back. Ready? Number 7. Learn to read his body. Even when he's quiet, not every dog speaks with barks. Some speak through stillness, through the way their ears drop slightly when something feels off, through how they pause in the doorway before following you in, through that soft sigh when the world outside gets a little too loud. The older he gets, the more silent his messages become. And that's where love matures, not in the treats you give, but in the space you make to truly observe. Reading your dog's body is like watching the wind move through trees. You won't always see the gust, but the leaves will tell you everything. A glance away at dinner time. He might be anxious. A tucked tail when visitors arrive. He's unsure, refusing to come near when you raise your voice, not because he's guilty, but because he's absorbing your pain. You don't need to be a vet. You just need to notice. And when you do, when you adjust his bed because he favors his right hip, or keep the room quiet because you saw his brow tense when the TV spiked, you're telling him you don't have to speak. I'm listening anyway. That's love at its highest frequency, not spoken, but sensed. And the more you notice, the more he trusts. Because now, you're not just the man who talks to him, you're the one who understands him when no one else does. And when that understanding deepens, Even your face becomes a message. Let's talk about something simple, almost ridiculous. Just your eyebrows and a smile. But to him, it's a love letter. Let me show you why. Number 8. Smile at him. He sees it. It sounds too simple, doesn't it? Smile. Just smile. Raise your eyebrows when you see him. But to your dog, that small movement, the lift of your brow, the softness in your cheeks, means more than any command you've ever taught. He's been watching your face since the day you brought him home. Before he knew what sit meant. Before he understood the rustle of a leash or the sound of a treat bag. He learned you through expression, through light and shadow across your skin. And here's the strange truth: when you smile with your left eyebrow slightly raised, that tiny motion, his brain lights up. Literally. A study out of Japan proved it. That one gesture so human, so subtle, sends his tail wagging faster than food ever could. You don't need to be laughing. Just relaxed, present, looking at him like he matters. Like you missed him when you were gone, even if it was only 10 minutes. Like he's not just your dog, but your person. You've seen it, haven't you? That little bounce he does when he sees you smile. The head tilt. The soft ears. The way he inches closer, as if your happiness pulls him in, like the scent of home cooking. Your face, your real, unguarded face, is a lighthouse. And when it lights up for him, he feels safe enough to sail through any storm. So next time you walk through that door, before you say a word, let your eyes say it first. Let your expression tell him you're still the best part of my day. But if you think that's powerful, wait until you find out what happens when you let your eyes stay on his. And never look away. Let's step into the one connection even science calls love. Number 9. Look him in the eyes, and hold it in the wild eye contact means challenge. But in your living room between you and him, it means something else entirely. It means trust. It means, I'm here. I see you. I'm not going anywhere. You've done it before, maybe when he nudged your hand during a tough night, or when he sat silently by your recliner as you stared out the window, missing someone who's gone. You looked at him, and he looked right back. No blink, no fear, just stillness. And in that moment, something passed between you. Something unspoken. Something sacred. Science calls it oxytocin, the same hormone released when a mother looks into her baby's eyes. When you lock eyes with your dog for more than a few seconds, that hormone rises in both of you. Your heartbeat slows, his tail starts to sway. And in his world, that's the closest thing to I love you that he understands. But it's not just about staring. It's about being there in the stare. Not glancing while scrolling your phone. Not throwing a good boy over your shoulder. It's about pausing. Just long enough for him to feel it. For him to think, right now he's nowhere else, but here with me. That kind of presence, it stays with him. Long after you stand up. Long after the day ends. It tells him you're not just the dog in the house. You're the heart of it. And once you've said all these things, not with your words, but with your eyes, your hands, your quiet routines, there's just one last message left to send. The one he's always hoped for. The one that doesn't come in a moment, but in every single day. You let him live life with you, not just next to you. You asked yourself once, maybe quietly, maybe without words, does he know I love him? You wondered if saying it was enough. If the food, the walks, the belly rubs made the message clear. And now, maybe for the first time, you see it wasn't about saying it louder. It was about saying it in a way he understands. Every time you let him sit beside you in silence. Every time your hand found the spot behind his ear that makes his eyes close just a little. Every time you played his game, not yours. Every time you spoke to him softly, or let him sniff longer, or cooked a little something just for him, you were speaking fluent love. He didn't need the words. He never did. Because while you were watching TV, or folding laundry, or fixing the fence, he was watching you, reading every glance, every shift in your breath, every unspoken kindness you didn't even know you gave. And now you know how to give it louder without raising your voice. Through presence, through patience, through small things that don't feel small at all to him. So the next time he lays his head on your shoe, or sighs beside you like he's lived 1,000 years, just to be here now, look down and remember, he already knows. But with these 9 ways now, he feels it too. Not just in his bones, but in his soul. If this video reminded you of your dog, of something quiet between you two that words never quite captured, tell us in the comments. Share it with someone who has a Duke or Maggie or Shadow curled up by their feet right now. Because some bonds don't need explaining, but they deserve remembering.